As most of you know, Ari and I have journeyed to Thailand to see her family. It has been 3 long years since our last visit. Before we left, we talked to Ari's mother and I asked her if she wanted me to bring her anything from the States. She told me all she wanted was for us to come and see her. She told me that if we loved her, we would come home to see her before she passed away from this world. I kind of smiled to myself and I told Mama, we're coming to see you soon. Not to worry. As we got into the journey, I started complaining about the airplane food, the uncomfortable seats on the plane, and the long layovers between flights. I told myself I'm getting too old to be traveling around the world with my aches and pains. I told myself I must be crazy for doing this at my age. A little voice kept telling me all the negative things that I was going through to make this trip. And we all know where that negative voice comes from. Those of you who travel know that sleeping on a plane is one of the hardest things to do in life, especially trying to get some sleep on a flight from Los Angeles to Taipei that lasts 13 hours. So I prepared myself and I brought along some pain pills for my neck and sleeping pills to help me get the rest I needed to endure this trip. The pills did the work. I got some much needed rest, but I digress. From start to finish, the trip lasted a total of 28 hours. From the time we left our home in North Carolina until we landed in Bangkok, Thailand. We landed in Bangkok on the 2nd of October at 11:35 a.m. Remember, we departed from Raleigh, North Carolina on the 29th of September. When we landed in Bangkok, we had to go through customs, another long line, and of course complaining. I could be at home right now in my comfortable house instead of standing in this line trying to explain to a complete stranger why I want to visit his country. Again, there's that small voice trying to deter me from enjoying my trip. Finally, we made it through immigration and then customs and out into the real world of Thailand. After a few minutes of searching, we found Ari's family that came to pick us up. Things were starting to turn in the right direction. It took a couple of hours to drive from the airport to the hotel in Ari's hometown. Note to all, on the way it started raining and all our bags were in the back of the truck uncovered. Help me, Lord, maintain my sanity. Once we got to the hotel and checked in, I finally felt we had put the worst of the trip behind us. We went out to dinner that night with the family and enjoyed ourselves. The next morning we got up and decided to visit Ari's mother. From the hotel to her house is about an hour ride. Before we arrived in Thailand, it had rained for 2 days straight. Once we got close to her house, we had to get out of the car and walk about 200 yards to get to Mama's house. Today, I had on my best pair of Wade Converse tennis shoes, $100 retail. By the time I walked through the mud and the water, those tennis shoes were unrecognizable. Let me just say this, sometimes I don't have much patience, and I can be overbearing. This was one of those times. As I was walking through the mud and water, I kept thinking to myself, what are you doing? My shoes are dirty, my jeans are dirty, I was sweating from the heat and humidity. Once I got to Mama's house, things changed though. Mama was not home. At 76 years old, Mama was out working in the coconut trees trying to make a living. As I saw her paddling her little boat down the ditch that leads to her coconut trees, my whole attitude changed. Gone were the thoughts of what I had to go through to get here. All I could think about was here was this 76-year-old woman that works in the fields each day to make a living, and what did I really have to complain about? As Mama saw me and her daughter, there was joy and tears in her eyes. Her son-in-law and daughter had come home to see her. Today she was overjoyed, knowing for a little while she would be able to see and hold our hand. All the brothers gathered at Mama's house to greet and pay respects to the daughter and son-in-law they had not seen in over 3 years. At the end of the day, as we were about to leave, it started. Each of us in turn kneeled down before Mama and bowed our heads to pay respect to Mama and receive her blessing. This is where the miracle started, even without me knowing it. When it was my turn to pay my respects to Mama, I bowed down before her and she immediately grabbed my face and started kissing me. She kissed me on the forehead, she kissed me on the cheek, and she kissed me on my lip. Over and over this went on, and it seemed like for an hour. In between each kiss, she was talking and laughing. I could not understand all she was saying because I was trying to breathe with all the kisses. Ari said she never saw Mama so happy before. Everyone in the room stopped and watched Mama bless me with her love. When I left her house, I felt a little ashamed, complaining about all the things I had gone through to get to Thailand to see her. All she wanted before she died was to see her daughter and son-in-law again. I had given her that wish, and she was grateful. But my family and friends, the real miracle happened at about 2 a.m. I woke up from a dead sleep with my stomach hurting. I said, oh no, I must have eaten something that didn't agree with me. But the bathroom trip was only a prelude to what happened next. I heard a voice in my ear telling me that the miracle today was not only for Mama, it was for you also. A mother's love had touched my heart and made me realize that there are more important things in life than the material things. A mother's love is a precious commodity. Shoes can be replaced, pants can be cleaned, but a mother's love when given freely is priceless. Here I was thinking that what a great thing I had done for Mama, not realizing that the blessing was for me. As I lay in bed, I started crying. Another voice in my ear said, peace be unto you, and I cried more. My movements woke up Marie, and she asked me what was wrong. I told her I was just allergic to something. I couldn't breathe too well, because men don't like to tell their wives they've been crying. So you see, miracles do happen when you least expect it. God watches over all creatures, big and small, and knows when you need a little help along the journey. For those who believe there's no God, then they need to be held in the arms of a 76-year-old mother in Thailand. I got my help in the arms of a 76-year-old lady in Thailand.